Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. So here we go again, another situation of fake news Democrat narrative versus reality. The fake outrage machine is once again in overdrive, and this time it's over Donald Trump's military deployment in Washington, D.C. According to the Democrats, this is some kind of spooky authoritarian takeover, specifically designed to intimidate D.C. residents and D.C. Democrats, or it's Donald Trump's newest conspiracy to cement himself into power, a military takeover of sorts of Washington, D.C., so he can ultimately and finally become the dictator that they keep telling us he's going to be, installing himself into power for the rest of eternity. You know, they're talking about this like it's a frickin' coup, when in reality it's just another common sense move to deal with a problem, a very serious problem, and that's Democrat failure of governance in one of America's biggest cities. The crime is too damn high, and President Trump's gonna do something about it. Well, the Democrats launched again yet another dishonest propaganda scheme, and I think it's now safe to say that they have officially lost. Their dishonest bullshit has backfired spectacularly. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So I don't think the Democrats picked a winning issue here, because it seems as though they've already lost frickin' MSNBC.
The answer to this problem for Democrats is not, oh, everything's okay, there's nothing to see here, move along. Oh, Washington has dropped 24% or whatever in crime. Well, let me give you some other numbers. The Washington Post took a poll in late April, early May. 91% of Washington residents say crime is a problem. 91%. 51%, it is an extremely serious problem. And John Heilman, we've had people before put this in racial terms. And this is, I must say, this is one thing that I think Democrats have gotten so wrong about crime.
MSNBC's already jumping ship on this issue. What is it, less than a week in? Absolute narrative destruction. Another pathetic little propaganda scheme. Let's manipulate the crime statistics and only focus on a window in one category over the last 12 months and then claim that crime is down 35%, completely misleading the public. Let's then frame the president's action, who just wants people to be safe, as deeply wrong and authoritarian. It's just unbelievable, this level of deception and dishonesty. Crime is completely out of control, and instead of working with President Trump to find a solution, they're running cover for the criminals and attempting to twist it and use it as a dishonest political narrative. And that is the Democrat way. But unfortunately for the Democrats, they're not very good at it, and people usually see right through their crap. And then, of course, it backfires. I mean, sure, we got Hakeem Jeffries out here, the young Democrat leader. Well, he's taking the stance for the party.
I stand with the people of Washington, D.C. I stand with Mayor Bowser, and we are strongly supporting their efforts to stop this scheme to take over the police department in the District of Columbia, which is nothing more than an illegitimate power grab.
But of course, Democrats are about to get hit in the face by enter reality as Donald Trump's polling on the issue of crime continues to skyrocket.
Democrats have to get it around their heads that Americans are far more hawkish on crime than they think that they are. What are we talking about? Trump's net approval handling crime. Where was he last year? He was way underwater at minus 13 points views of term number one. But look at where he is now. He's on the positive side of the ledger. He's on the positive side at plus 1 point. Americans view Trump far more favorably now on crime than they did a year ago. Donald Trump is like Air Jordan towering over Joe Biden when it comes to their handling of crime. Look, in 2024, look at where Biden's net approval was on crime. Way underwater there at minus 26 points. It was one of Biden's worst issues. Granted, pretty much every issue was one of Biden's worst issues. And again, look at where Donald Trump is. Way, way, way above Joe Biden. What is that? That's 27 points. So Americans vastly prefer Donald Trump's approach to crime.
Hear from city leaders and others that crime is actually down. Are you seeing that?
No, I'm not seeing it. We're seeing carjackings, the violence in the communities. So we were advocating then for the National Guard to come out, but they said there was no need. But think about how many lives could have been saved just having them on the scene.
Just today, a young lady was shot over on 15th Street in Northeast D.C. Does that seem like crime gone down? With all the things that are going on with our president, sending the National Guards out, I don't have a problem with that personally, because if MPD can't do it and they need help, then I'm glad they're able to get the help.
This is very clearly a losing issue for the Democrats. I'd argue they've already lost. What was that? 3 days might be a frickin' record. But clearly the Democrats have picked their side, and of course they've done what they always do in these situations. They've pushed it to the absolute extreme. It's not just we disagree with President Trump. No, it's been this is a threat to humanity as we know it. They take the rhetoric and the activism to the absolute extreme, and of course, what do you think that does? Well, it sends all the leftist weirdos on the street so they can engage in the ways of an unemployed Antifa member, and of course, that's exactly what we're seeing.
These are homeless people. You guys are group. Don't let them do this to you. It's abusive to you, and now you're gonna get when you're up. You have to go to the VA, and they cut all your services.
They've taken the hysterics so far once again that the radical Antifa types have mobilized to the streets. So we got the Democrats looking like complete idiots, picking the wrong side of the issue, getting completely frickin' exposed, then exposing themselves as yet again enabling domestic extremism in their endless hatred for anything orange. I mean, come on, it's just so stupid, and people are talking about Democrats making a big comeback in 2026. I don't know, I guess we'll have to see the polling data as we get closer to election day, but I am just not seeing it. I'm seeing the Democrat Party on a massive L streak. Just more lies and cringe performative outrage. And I'm just thinking to myself, I mean, people ought to be seeing through this at this point, right? This clear clown show behavior. It's obviously fake outrage. It's obviously selective outrage. I mean, all it takes is one photo to cut through the BS. When you look at a photo of what's actually going on the ground, what are we talking about here? A couple of Humvees positioned in high traffic, high risk areas? American service members, America's best? The people who have devoted their young years to discipline and service of country, service of peer. Those people posted up in Washington, D.C., in the nation's capital, trying to keep people safe. That's an outrage to the Democrats. They're outraged by this, but when Joe Biden decided to gift the Taliban billions of dollars of American military equipment, and the Taliban was parading that through Kabul, oh, well, there was no Democrat outrage there, right? Miss me with this BS, please. And also, again, just to show the sinister mind of these propaganda workers to demonize those service members as Trump's Gestapo, when all they're doing is stepping up to try to keep people safe, as Democrats have failed people in D.C. by their sheer governing incompetence. In 2024, D.C. had the 4th highest homicide rate in the country, and Democrats clearly want to distract from that, and they're throwing service members under the bus as they do it, using them as disposable narrative pawns, demonizing their good work as we're already getting reports that people are feeling much safer in the city. I mean, just think about that level of malicious deception. It's freaking wild if you actually think about it, and the craziest part is that this is just this week's lie, because as we know, next week's going to be a new fake news story, a new fake news scandal to gaslight the public with. Endless Democrat dishonesty. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.